Hey, this is Walter Jones.
This is Austin St. John.
And you're listening to
Ranger Danger.
In the podcasting life, they must fight to survive. Shackled by the chains of the past. They're the biggest of geeks, cause they watch every week. Subscribe to see if they can last. Go, go, Ranger Danger. We can't ever stop. Go, go, Ranger Danger. Podcast till we drop, probably forever. Yeah, whatever. Ranger Danger, Ranger Danger, Ranger Danger, Ranger Danger, Ranger Danger Dino Charge.
Welcome once again to Ranger Danger Dino Charge. This is the podcast where we're looking to the sky to save us, looking for a sign of life, looking for something to help us burn out bright.
I feel like that's the Foo Fighters.
Fuck, what are we?
Power Rangers.
Right, that's it. Yeah. We're the podcast where we watch episodes of the TV series Power Rangers Dino Charge, and then afterwards we discuss it.
That sounds more like us.
Easy mistake to make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to learn to fly.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be definitely a high point of my week, at least. Yeah.
Possibly even month.
Maybe. Let's not go crazy.
Okay, yeah, sure.
So we'll be watching episode 18 of Power Rangers Dino Charge, entitled Deep Down Under. And that'll be episode 805 of Power Rangers overall.
Yep.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
We have a website, www.rangerdangerpodcast.com, where you can see show notes and stuff. If you want to send us an email, rangerdangerpodcast@gmail.com. We're on Twitter, @RangerDcast, where we love to take your Twitter tweets. We're also on Facebook, iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, and Google+. Plus, we have a shop. That's rangerdangerpodcast.com/shop. Where you can buy things and stuff.
Yeah. That's a lot of places.
I'm Matt.
Oh, Michael. Hey, guys.
Yes. Now, before we go deep down under with you...
I mean, we're already deep down under. We're down under.
I wouldn't say we're deep.
Yeah.
I would say we're like sort of middle range down under.
I mean, we're kind of like first floor right now, so...
But like on the Earth, in the traditional sense.
Right.
As far as the curvature goes.
Yeah.
We're sort of like midway down the curve on the bottom end.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're definitely down under. You can't argue with that.
We are.
Yeah.
Before we do that,
though,
do we have any emails?
Yeah, we do have an email.
Yeah, I'd love when we have emails.
Yes. We've just got one email about Dino Charge and some other emails about Mighty Morphin, but we'll cover them on our Mighty Morphin podcast.
Yes.
But this is quite a long email, so that's probably good that we've only got the one. Mm-hmm. So this one is from regular Facebook liker, RJ.
Hey, RJ.
Likes all our stuff on
RJ
Facebook.
Washington?
Yes.
I know him because he has an amazing photo of himself with Kelly Sue DeConnick as his profile picture.
Okay, so he has several Dino Charge related thoughts.
Yes.
And they are numbered up to 4, but they've all got about a paragraph, so I might just paraphrase instead.
Yep.
So his first question was, the Rangers work in a dino-themed cafe.
Yes.
If you had a Power Rangers-themed restaurant,
yes, what
would it be like?
Oh, that's a tough one, because there's so many different themes that you can cover.
He has some specific, bits.
Yeah.
What food would be served?
Yep.
How would the employees dress?
Yes.
What's it called? You can't call it Ernie's.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Oh, why not? Yeah, it's a really tough one, because do you focus more on the classic stuff? Do you try and find a way to bridge the range? I feel like you'd want the menu is the area where you could cover the most ground.
That's lots of, punny, good puns for your food.
Yes, absolutely. But as far as the overall theme goes, yeah, it's so difficult, because there's no one, standard Power Ranger costume.
No, absolutely not. There's no one standard location or anything like that. I guess you'd make it look like the command center.
That was actually where my head was going.
Is the most iconic location.
I think, maybe you go the command center. And what I would do is have glass cases around the edges that had various suits.
Yep, sure. Props and gear and stuff.
Yeah, but I'd sort of from Turbo.
Yes.
I don't know if they have it in Turbo. I think they do. They had the suits around... No, they didn't. That's in Zero, which you haven't seen.
Okay.
Okay, I don't want to
You
spoil
mean
it.
like in the Batcave?
Yes, exactly
Right.
like in the Batcave.
Okay.
So they have that around the edges.
Yeah.
And I'd do that, and I'd pick, and I'd sort of just like vary the colours up. So I'd have like
Yeah,
the red
sure.
from Mighty Morphin, blue from Zeo, and sort of do that
Yep.
around the place. I think that's the way to go.
Yeah. I'd go there.
I think you'd call it the command centre.
Yep.
Yeah, the command centre is the theme, the name. You've got the suits around the edges. What do the weight stuff dress like? They all have to dress like Alpha, right?
I mean, yes, but also that's going to be horrifying.
I don't think it'd be like just Alpha cosplay, but it would be like Alpha 5 inspired dresses and stuff.
Right, so like a vest with a red, yellow lightning bolt on the front.
Exactly.
And you get someone to do like a fancy version of Alpha 5.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to get into the menu now because I feel like that's a couple of days' thought.
Yeah, you got to write some good puns. What sort of food are you thinking? Are you thinking like
American fast food.
fast food, like burgers and pizzas and
Yeah, like a
hot
diner.
dogs and yep,
Yeah,
yeah, that'd be pretty good.
that'd be pretty good.
I'd eat there.
Yep. Sorted. There you go.
Yeah.
RJ, you can start up your business now.
Yep. If anyone would like to, please do.
Yes,
And you can have anything we just said for free if you invite us to the opening.
absolutely. We might come and do a live podcast at your restaurant.
I mean, I would not want a podcast anywhere else.
We may have to move to just next door to your place.
So, Ajay's second question was, where do you think everyone lives in Dino Charge specifically? So we know Koda has his own little cave at the base.
Yes.
But Riley moved there for the summer. Tyler,
Appears to not have parents.
well, we know that he doesn't have a dad.
Yes.
Shelby, also, we don't know much about her life.
Yep.
Chase is from New Zealand,
Yes.
so...
And none of them appear to be studying either, right? They just seem to be working adults.
Yes.
So I imagine they all just live in apartments, except for Kendall, who I think lives in a penthouse above the museum.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I don't know why the museum has a penthouse above it. I think that would be a...
Because she's rich, remember?
That's true. That's true. We have decided that. Yeah, Chase has got a shitty apartment.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Or maybe just a van.
Yeah, I wouldn't be amazed if Tyler lived out of the back of that truck of his.
Yes. Yeah, I think Tyler... Actually, no, I think Tyler would sort of maybe have a small place on the outskirts of town, but
Yeah.
spend a lot of time in his truck. I think Chase could just have his van.
Yep.
Riley, I think... Wait, is it Green Ranger?
Yes, Riley.
Riley, sorry.
That's
Had my
fine.
blank. I think Riley has a nice place.
Yeah.
Like, not a big place, but somewhere close to the city.
Yep.
And is quite trendy.
Yep.
Who else am I missing?
Shelby
Shelby.
lives with her parents.
Yeah, I think Shelby would be the lives with her parents one
Yeah.
of that group, absolutely.
What about Ivan?
I feel like Ivan would live in the, like, consulate for
Oh, that would make sense.
Xander.
Yeah, at the very least, they could set him up with an apartment.
Yeah. But no, I feel like he'd live at the Xander consulate. And he would be, like, they would have fired the security staff, and now they just have a Power Ranger there to...
Yeah, I mean, that's, yeah, you don't need a night shift person.
No,
There's
you just
Power
have a
Ranger
night.
just sleeping there.
Yeah.
Alright. RJ's next point was, we made a huge mistake.
Yeah,
But it's okay, he forgives us. In the episode a couple of weeks ago with the NZ boys,
Yes.
we didn't mention Riley clearly checking out Tyler as he worked out shirtless.
Oh, yeah?
Um,
Nice.
I mean, look, we were all doing that.
Yeah.
I don't...
You can't look away.
No. As far as RJ's concerned, he thinks Riley is gay.
Yep.
I mean, there's nothing in the text so far to contradict that.
No.
Other than the fact that probably no Power Ranger will ever be gay.
Or never be overtly.
Yes.
But I feel like it could be the case where the writers just have that in mind.
Yep.
And they're never going to contradict it, although they
Yeah.
might not ever make it explicit.
Yeah. I believe there have been several Power Rangers in the past that people are like headcanon as gay.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, certainly before we get an explicitly gay Power Ranger, it will be
Yes.
a very long time, unfortunately. Alright, random question number 3. Why does Keeper kind of look like a dinosaur?
That's a very hard question to answer.
Yeah.
Because the It's not a very creative design, maybe.
Keeper still confuses and infuriates me.
He looks more like E.T. than a dinosaur to me.
Yeah. I don't understand why he's in the show.
No.
He's not necessary.
No.
He hasn't really done much that they couldn't have hand-waved someone else being able to do.
Yeah, I feel like he is there more out of habit. Like,
Yeah.
they always have that sort of character in the show, but in this instance, they just don't need him.
Yeah.
To the point where I often forget he exists until he shows up in a scene. And I'm like,
'cause
oh, right.
He's not even, like, regularly there.
No.
It's not uncommon for him to show up once
Yes.
and then be like, oh yeah, I teleported to New Zealand to do a thing for you guys.
Yeah.
That was weird, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it's weird that they've got these distinctions between problems that Miss Morgan solves with science
Yeah.
and problems that Keeper solves with magic. But it feels like either of those things, like you could rearrange them. There's no reason that Kendall couldn't have come up with a device to sever the connection between...
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Yeah. Alright, RJ's next question.
yes.
Are Earthlings the only species in the galaxy that hasn't achieved immortality? Because he points out that Rita and Co were trapped for 10,000 years.
Yes.
Lord Zed is just as old and wasn't trapped.
Yep.
Sledge and his people were chilling in space for literally millions of years.
Yes.
Zordon was around from before Rita's time.
I feel like it makes a certain amount of sense. I feel like in the Power Rangers universe, immortality is a level of technology that comes just after spaceflight. You know?
Right, okay.
You go to the stars, and very shortly thereafter, you figure out how to make yourself
Okay,
immortal.
well, Matt, what I will point out to you
Yes.
is that in the Power Rangers universe, they had a whole space station that went
Yes.
to another galaxy.
Yes.
So they must be pretty close to immortality.
The thing is, I feel like... Did Terra Venture ever come back to Earth?
I don't remember.
I feel like that group of people probably went off and just became immortal and now run a galaxy somewhere else.
I feel like those people definitely probably came back to Earth.
That's right, because Bulk was on the ship, or Skull was on the ship.
Bulk was on the ship.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know that... I mean, there's Power Rangers with spaceships and things.
Yes.
So,
The thing is, though, as much as Lost Galaxy is a thing that happened,
yeah.
Lost Galaxy is
Not a thing that happened.
No.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not like the world that Dino Charge exists in. Humanity has the technology to send colonies into outer space.
Yes, exactly.
It's a very disparate timeline, you know?
Yeah, it's one of those things where, you know, like, technically, as far as we know, every past Power Ranger existed.
Yes.
But also, every year, people are like, Power Rangers? What's that?
Yes.
Even though it would be, like, at this point, they would stop reporting on giant monster battles.
Yes. And given that there's been, 200 Power Rangers or something by
Yeah,
now?
something like that.
You know, they're everywhere. They're
Yes.
all over the damn shop.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's a weird semi-continuity they've built up.
Do you think in the Power Rangers universe, teenagers who are approaching, like, 15 or 16
Yep.
try to make 4 really good friends?
And get everyone to colour coordinate?
Yeah, just
Yeah.
in case it's here this year.
Yeah. You'd want to, especially if you lived in California.
Yeah, I mean, the odds are pretty good.
Yeah.
Statistically, like, half of the teenagers in California must be Power Rangers.
Don't think that's quite true.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's true.
Well, you're the math expert here, so...
I am, that's true. RJ posits a theory that with immortality, there's a price to the magic.
Yes.
And so you can either become immortal and turn evil.
Yes.
Or become immortal and, like, have to be shunted to an alternate dimension or access through a time-space warp or, like, some sort of other weird thing.
What about Keeper?
Maybe Keeper isn't immortal.
He's been alive for a very long time.
Yeah, that doesn't necessarily... Yeah, he has, hasn't he?
A
He's
bit
been
like-
alive as long as Sledge.
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe he's evil.
So I did... Well, that would please me greatly.
I mean, let's be honest. If next season
Yes.
there was, like, 6 episodes where Keeper turned evil,
Yep.
that would maybe redeem Keeper.
Yes. I want that to happen, or for him to just go for a walk in the woods and never come back. And then have no one ever ask, where did Keeper go? They just not speak about it.
RJ closes with, he dreamed an entire episode of Dino Charge.
Alright.
a monster switches the Rangers' personalities.
That sounds likely.
Riley, Chase, Shelby Kendall, Ivan, Tyler. Koda has to figure it out.
Ah, that's amazing. I love it.
I'm a fan of any episode where Koda is required to do all the heavy lifting.
Yes.
I think we can all agree he's the best.
He is the best. Absolutely.
That's not to say that everyone else is not good.
They're all great characters.
I am a fan of everybody on this show.
The only, Tyler was probably my least favourite, but after last week, he's, up with the rest of them now.
I think the thing with Tyler is he falls into that Harry Potter problem where, no one's favourite Harry Potter character is Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Because he has to, do all the things and be there for all the plot stuff.
Yep.
And everyone else gets to do all the interesting acting around that.
Yeah, they get to have the character moments.
Tyler's had this whole thing with Fury.
Yep.
But the most interesting thing out of that is that we got Ivan.
Yes.
Rather than that being particularly... Do you think we're going to see Tyler's dad anytime soon?
You'd think, right? Maybe next year. There's a lot that I expected them to get to this year that does not seem to be cropping up.
There was the mind control amulet that the episode made explicit point of saving that we haven't seen again. There's the tentacle in maximum security on Sledge's ship that probably is something.
Yep.
Tyler's dad is somewhere out there. Is there anything else?
I feel like Chase's family is kind of a big thing. Riley's brother seems to be a recurring thing. The Shelby Tyler romance.
Oh, yeah, okay. Blue photographer dude.
Yes.
Who is probably the Aqua Ranger.
You'd think so. That's right. Yeah, that may be it. Just in my head, it seems like a lot. And there's those that Zord that appeared earlier, then sort of disappeared.
Yeah, the Aqua Zord. I guess they're going to think about that at some point.
You'd think so, right?
Yeah.
It's just a lot of balls in the air.
It's a lot of balls in the air for Power Rangers, which historically has one ball in the air, and that's the giant monster that they're fighting this week.
Yeah, it's a ball that comes down 20 minutes later.
Yeah. This is exciting. I'm glad. We don't have a lot of Dino Charge left.
No. On that note, how about we go watch episode 18 of Power Rangers Dino Charge?
Yeah, sure.
If you want to follow along at home, you can too. If not, we'll be back in just a moment.
Bye, guys.
Ranger Danger, Ranger Danger.
Well, that was interesting.
Every week, this show is not what I'm expecting.
Yes. But in a good way.
Yeah,
As opposed to Mighty Morphin.
Yeah, not they go back to the Wild West and they got tassels on their
costumes,
boots and all of that nonsense. No, this is good.
Yeah. It does start off on kind of a low note for me, though.
Right.
Because I'm kind of over the reanimated monsters.
Right.
I understand that they're just trying to get the most out of the footage that they've got, but it comes off as very... Now there's no consequences to defeating monsters, right?
Sure.
They can just come back next week, and it's less exciting to see a recycled monster than a new one.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Especially preceding weeks.
Yeah.
It's not like when Pudgy Pig came back 20 weeks later.
We were very happy about that.
Yeah.
That time Pumpkin Rapper came back.
Yes.
I forgot. I was going to ask Kyle Higgins when we had him on the podcast to bring back Pumpkin Rapper.
Oh, you should send him a tweet.
I should.
A Twitter tweet.
Because I don't know how that will work in text, but, I mean, he should try.
Yes.
Alright, we take it from the top?
Yep.
I should point out before we go on that you're now saying, "It's a bomb," along with Sledge in the opening.
Yes. It's fun. You should try it sometime.
We might not have long with that. That might not continue into Dino Supercharge.
That's very true.
Alright, so we're in space.
Yes.
On Sledge's ship.
Yep.
So, because the purple Energem bonded with someone...
Yes.
The Plesiozord must be awake.
Yes.
That's fine. Logical conclusion.
I'm happy to follow that, yep.
Fury had the Terrazord.
Yes.
And fucked all that up.
Yes.
So, Sledge is just going to destroy it. That's just his plan, is if we take it out, we don't have it, but they don't have it. So, 50-50.
Yep.
Fury's like, yep, that's what I thought too. That's why I'm reanimating Meteor from last week. And yeah, I mean, I guess it didn't make me too angry this week because it's kind of a two-parter.
Yeah, I guess.
But I certainly agree. I hope that we get some new monsters into the future. I wonder if Dino Charge had a lot of monsters that they didn't like. or footage that they couldn't use, or
Yeah.
if they only had access to some of the costumes and not others, and so they couldn't shoot because they're shooting quite a bit of original footage this year.
Yeah.
If they could only do like a certain set of monsters.
Yeah. Or the footage is very, like, other Ranger heavy.
Yep.
And they didn't want to get into that too soon, so they had to make the most of earlier footage.
Yeah, I don't, or maybe it's just an artistic choice. Maybe it's just they like being able to do that. I don't know.
Yep.
There's no Purple Ranger in the opening titles.
No.
I think the opening titles make it clear that at least this year, this is a team of 6 Power Rangers.
Yes.
And some other Power Rangers that they meet.
Yes. It seems like the others are guest Rangers.
Yes.
You know? Whereas we have a team of 6 now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I'm fine with.
Yeah.
I
For
don't.
the moment.
I feel like 10 all at once has to happen eventually.
Yes.
But
Is a lot.
is a lot to deal with week to week.
Yep.
So they're all chatting, basically. Everyone's talking to Kendall, who's back home.
Yep.
And she says, you have to stay in New Zealand until you find this plesiosaur.
Yes.
It must be awake. I followed the same logical train of thought.
Yep.
But you've got to find it, because otherwise Sledge will find it.
Yes.
Albert never saw it. So they're going to go talk to a scientist. Matt, who's the scientist?
It's an archaeologist.
Yep.
I don't know his name.
His name is Dr. Runga.
Yes. Sure.
Sure.
Very handsome man.
They say if anyone knows about plesiosaurs, it's him.
I think that they say plesiosaurs.
I mean, look, that would make more sense.
Yes.
It's unfortunate that those words sound very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he shouldn't know anything about plesiosaurs. So he's like a famous scientist, I guess.
Famous archaeologist.
He's like the
no, sorry, I'm using the wrong word. Famous fossil man.
paleontologist.
There we go.
He's like New Zealand paleontology. He's like Brian Cox or Neil
Yes.
deGrasse Tyson. He's
Yes.
like, he's got books, he's got TV shows, he's popular and famous. And
Got a bit of swag.
yeah, he does have a bit of swag. He's got a cool neckerchief.
Yep. As everyone with coolness and swag has.
That's absolutely true. So he's got hundreds of fossil discoveries to his name,
Yep.
which I think is impressive.
Yeah,
It
totally.
sounds impressive.
I don't know how much is standard.
No.
But it sounds like more than standard.
Yeah. So Shelby is very kind of nervous about meeting an idol.
Yes.
And she wants to make sure that everybody is, dressed up and fancy and dressed to impress.
I like that the show brought back the fact that Shelby is a big
Absolutely.
nerd, like a big fossil nerd.
Yes.
And that it's like kind of almost a driving force for her.
Yeah.
And we get into this more a bit later in the episode, but it really was her dream as a kid to get involved in paleontology.
And I mean, prior to the Power Rangers stuff,
Yes.
we were introduced to her as someone who wanted to get in on the whole dinosaur thing.
Yes.
So it's absolutely nice to see that they haven't forgotten that and are willing to hook us back into that as a plot thing.
Yep.
Koda isn't wearing shoes. They squish his toes.
Yes.
Koda continues to be the greatest character on this show.
He's kind of my hero.
Yeah. I agree with him about shoes. I got to be honest, after he said that, my feet, I'm thinking, oh yeah, I could probably...
See, I'm torn. I don't like having to wear shoes.
Yep.
But I have soft rider's feet.
Right.
They're very sensitive.
That's why I like a thong, or as our American listeners would call it, a flip-flop.
Yes.
Because they're dumb.
Thongs are different over there.
Yes.
They have a whole song about it.
Do they?
It's called the Thong Song.
That would make sense. Yeah. Because it gives you the freeness of the open road.
Yes.
But
The
the open road. But it also puts something underneath your foot to stop you from stepping on snails or heroin needles.
Yeah. I don't want either of those things to happen to my
No.
feet. To be frank, sometimes the grass is a bit sharp for my feet. So, Jesus.
Okay, so Shelby had called him earlier, Dr.
Yes.
Runga, and said, hey, we're going to come, we're from Amber Beach. So he kind of thinks that they're rivals.
Yes. Because they're from the Amber Beach Paleontology Museum.
Yeah, which I guess makes sense, except that he's a 40-something scientist with books and TV shows, and they're just a group of teenagers, 2 of whom are very weird.
I like the idea, though, that he's, like, incredibly successful in the media and within his field.
Yeah.
But Kendall has billions of dollars.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
just, like, buys all the fossils.
Have you ever heard of the Bone Wars, Matt?
No, but I want to.
Okay, so the Bone Wars was like basically in, I want to say, either the late 1800s or the early 1900s.
Yes.
Basically, two paleontologists, really before paleontology was a proper field,
Yes.
who just hated each other and like would pinch staff members and like basically ruined each other's lives.
Amazing.
I'll put a link to a podcast in the show notes that you guys can listen to, so I don't spend half an hour telling you about the Bone Wars.
Bone Wars!
Alright, I'm less enthusiastic about the Bone Wars now. Alright, so yeah, Shelby called him earlier.
Yes.
So they basically just opened with, if plesiosaurs were still alive,
Yep.
where would they be?
If there was a Frankenstein, where would a Frankenstein be?
It's a bold way to open.
Yeah, they don't really try to like couch it in any sort of like misdirection.
No. So he goes, well, first of all, you're insane.
Yes.
Second of all, you're hunting for something called a tunifa or tonifa. I'm looking at the Wikipedia page. Didn't we talk about New Zealand cryptids
Yes.
like 2 or 3 weeks? No, last week.
It was last week.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy, right?
So it is one of those.
Yeah.
And he basically says, well, look, I know about this, so I guess you're probably looking for that because it's probably a plesiosaur.
Yeah. When we say he knows about it, he has it literally tattooed on his arm.
It's a nice tattoo.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's one of that guy's tattoos. Because he looks like the sort of guy who's got a tattoo.
Yes.
Or...
But that would be a weird coincidence to find an actor who is willing to be on Power Rangers who also has a tattoo of a paleo.
Can I just say that the Wikipedia page for this creature has got subheadings as guardians, as notorious monsters, relationships with people, and modern controversy.
Great, I'm reading all of that Wikipedia page as soon as I stop recording.
I will make sure that that one is in the show notes as well. So he says, well, look, I guess, like, basically what he says is probably in the water.
Yeah.
Which I feel like they could have guessed.
Although, we find out later, it does fly.
Yeah, we find out later that this is a space dinosaur.
Yeah.
Which was the most unexpected thing.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. He's a bit of a dick, this scientist.
He is.
Not like a huge dick.
He's not a villain.
No.
He's just, a bit of a dick.
Yeah. So they all kind of leave, and they split up.
Yep.
So Chase and Riley are motorbikes on the beach. Mm-hmm. Koda and Ivan are flying through the skies in the Megazord.
Yep.
Ivan's doing barrel rolls and not telling Koda because it's more fun that way.
I love those two.
Yeah.
I think are like my new breakout favourite pairing.
It's because they're both like weird, not modern day people.
Yeah, they're both time displaced.
They both get to do... They have another bit later in the episode that is really just... It's nice. I like that sort of stuff.
Yep.
Tyler and Shelby are just standing at the beach.
Yeah, with backpacks on.
Yeah, if it weren't for the fact that they're the two that succeed, they would be the most useless two in this search.
I know that... Like, they have other Zords. They could use those. They have other bikes. They could use those. I don't know. Although, I do love... During this, we get a cut back to the command center, as I call it, and Shelby has her like holo map. And
Kendall.
Sorry, Kendall has her holo map, and she's tracking things on the holo map.
Yep.
And I love the holo map, and I love Kendall as like the strategic one who's sort of like guiding everyone. It's a bit more hands-on and cool than Alpha just sort of like beeping boops on the control
and then
panel.
printing something out and being like, hey, there's a beep boop. Yeah, absolutely.
Makes her seem a lot more like a coordinator.
Something we talked about earlier, no keeper at all in this episode.
Nope. Because he's functionally useless.
Yeah. So Shelby reaches into her pocket and the purple energem from last week is glowing.
Yep.
And, there it is.
We found it.
In the water.
7 minutes of the episode over.
Why didn't they just fly around with the energem until it started to glow?
I don't know that they knew this would happen.
Okay.
Which is strange, because I would have guessed that would happen.
They've all had encounters with energems and dinosaurs.
But it could have been that reaction only happens when you've bonded with the energem.
Certainly.
So, who knows?
So that's it. And before they can go get to it, meteor attacks.
Ah! I think it's Riley comments like, "Oh, they keep recycling monsters. Sledge must be out of ideas," which I found funny commentary on the show itself.
Yeah. Meteor is a useless piece of shit.
Yeah, but just disappointing because he has awesome attacks.
Yes, he really does.
He just basically shoots at least asteroids
Yep.
and at best like whole galaxies or something.
Yeah, like he's got a bunch of named special cutscene attacks
Yeah.
that he uses once and then he's instantly defeated.
Yes.
I don't know if he was more important and they just cut him down, or if they're all like this and normally they cut back. I don't.
Because it looks rad.
Yeah. So they summon all the other Rangers show up.
Yep.
Summon some Vivics. They fight the Vivics. It's cool.
Ivan takes on Fury 1-on-1.
Yep.
They do that thing where they both use their special named attacks at each other.
And they meet in the middle and then they explode.
Everyone loves that.
Everyone loves that. That's the best.
Yeah.
Do you think that's just us being brainwashed by Dragon Ball Z, where it happened every 5 episodes?
That and Street Fighter.
Ah,
you know,
yeah,
like when you're
okay.
playing Street Fighter and both sides Hadouken and they meet in the middle and they do a little puff. And
Yeah.
yeah, everyone loves that.
Yeah, I agree. Meteor does like a huge meteor attack.
Yes.
And Tyler's just like, no, boy. Just jumps into the sky and just Armageddons it.
Because he gets Dino Steel on.
Yeah.
And gets his like punching thing.
Yeah.
And then just charges at him and punches each meteor out of the way.
Yep.
It looks sick.
And then Meteor's like, well, no, I got a meteor gun on my arm.
Yep.
And Tyler's like, no, son. It just blows it up.
Yeah.
It's just great.
It's great, but it's also so over the top.
Yes.
Like, it looks like Tyler doesn't even break a sweat.
Yeah.
When this guy is throwing huge flaming meteors at him.
Yeah.
Whereas sometimes he has trouble with the Vivics, you know?
So now it's time to kill Meteor.
Yes.
So they just bring out the Dino Spike.
Yep.
And they just
Stab him.
Dino Spike him.
Straight
This
up
doesn't
stab him.
blow him up.
No.
It just knocks him back.
Yep.
And then Fury's like, oh, God, I guess I'll get involved now.
Yes.
He attacks. All the Rangers are not hurt, but distracted enough for Fury and Meteor to run.
Yep.
Alright, so we're back at the archaeological dig site with Professor Runner. Someone picks up a fossil and throws it at him.
Yeah. Smashes a dinosaur skull at his feet, which is actually effectively menacing.
It's a good way to get someone's attention.
Yeah.
Who is it, Matt?
It's Fury.
It is Fury. What does Fury want?
What he always wants. To take over the world! No, in this case, he wants the Plesiosaur.
He pitches to the professor,
Yeah.
I want a dinosaur.
Yes.
And the professor says, all these fossils, just whatever
take
you
them,
want.
go.
You weird giant robot lion thing.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, bones? I don't want bones. I want a living dinosaur. And the professor is like, okay, we're going to have to settle this one. No living dinosaurs.
Spoiler warning, they died.
Yeah. You were there, actually.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, there is one. 6 teenagers found it. And I think the look on the professor's face is first like, I just met 6 teenagers. It's probably then.
Yep.
And then second, you're telling me 6 teenagers found a living dinosaur in the country I live in and that they've been in for a week. So he basically agrees to find it for Fury.
Yes.
Fury promises that it'll make him famous.
And also, just in case the carrot doesn't work, sort of pushes his glowing sword up against the guy's neck.
Yeah, it's like, he says it'll make you famous, and then Fury says, and then I'll destroy it. It's like, you can't destroy the only living dinosaur. What is wrong? And Fury's like, well, I can destroy it, or I can chop your head off.
Yeah.
So those are your options. Take your pick.
And he's like, yeah, good point. Valid argument.
Yeah, no, you definitely have to destroy it.
Yeah.
So Kendall's doing some more science.
Yes.
Shelby took a video of the Plesiosaur.
Yep.
And judging by the sounds it's making, it's sick.
Yes.
They are sick robot noises.
And not like really cool robot noises.
No.
Unhealthy robot noises.
Yeah. Kendall reasons that sometimes they need the energems to recharge.
Yep.
It hasn't been near the energem since it woke up because Albert had never seen it. So it's probably just someone needs to go, give it a bit of fun.
Sorry, a bit of what?
A bit of fun, Here's your energem. Have some fun.
Alright.
Give it a bit of fun.
Cool. Is that a say?
Yeah, he's an out.
I wish you guys could have seen the gesticulation Michael provided along with that phrase.
Give it a bit of fun. Hey, like Fonzie. Hey, have a bit of fun.
Oh god.
So the Rangers are back at like the harbour.
Yeah.
Just chatting. They're near like a food cart, figuring out what their next move is. The professor is sitting right next to them with his sunglasses on.
Yes.
And he then takes off his sunglasses dramatically. It's great.
It's like he does the best bad undercover.
He's got this like an eye gesture that's like one eyebrow raise.
Yeah.
It's just...
He's actually a great actor.
It's a good little bit of work. I wouldn't be surprised to find out that he's like a New Zealand soap actor or something like that.
Yeah.
Who's doing like a guest spot on Power Rangers.
Yeah, it's a pity we're not going to see him again. Like, I'm glad he's not the Power Ranger, but I'm sad that we're not going to see him again.
So all the other Rangers except Shelby kind of leave, and Shelby's like, yeah, I'll just be there in a sec. And the professor walks up to them and he says, look, sorry, not to them, just to Shelby.
Yep.
And he says, I'd like to apologise. I was a bit of a dick before. Can I sign your book? And Shelby's like, yeah, sure. And he says, do you have a pen? And she's like, no, I'll go get one. So when she goes to get one, he grabs her phone, messages himself the video, and just fucks off. Why wouldn't you even, like, just sign the book anyway?
I think the thing is, you've got to remember that his life is in danger.
Okay, yeah.
Any second he doesn't spend finding this thing is a second closer to Fury's sword cleaving off his head. So he's got some motivation to be swift.
Yeah. Here's an interesting fact. Kirk Torrance, who plays the professor,
Yep.
is not just an actor, but he's also an award-winning playwright.
Oh, wow.
And he has had a role in a show called Outrageous Fortune,
Okay.
which is a New Zealand comedy drama that ran for like 5 years. It was quite popular in New Zealand, and they aired it here. So he's a proper actor.
Yeah.
He was in an episode of Xena.
Well, there you go.
And on a show called Legend of the Seeker. Do you know anything about Legend of the Seeker?
Wasn't that a movie?
No, it's like a fantasy TV show.
I definitely heard of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I believe also shot in New Zealand from memory.
Right.
So he's been in all of the fantasy shows that shot in New Zealand.
I can see why.
Yeah. He's good at that part, I think.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm a fan of him.
Yep.
So they're in the sea caves, the Rangers.
Yes.
They're checking them out. And they're talking to Kendall and they're like, we haven't found anything. And Kendall's like, well, I found something. There's a news story that is all over the internet. It's a still from Shelby's video.
Yep.
And Dr. Runga is going to hold a press conference today to announce that he has found a live dinosaur.
So that might have something to do with what you're after.
Maybe. It's just a guess that I've got. So Shelby is pissed.
Yes.
Properly pissed.
I like that. I like that Shelby's someone who can just get angry.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, with some, like, you wouldn't buy it from Chase.
You know.
But,
And like to take it back a bit, you'd never really buy it from Kimberly. You know? She
Yeah,
was always
absolutely.
a bit too nice.
she's more likely to be upset than angry.
Yes. Whereas Shelby, you wouldn't want to fuck around with Shelby.
No. So she goes up to him and he says, no, look, I'll share the credit. Which is, not terrible of him.
Yeah.
No one mentions to him that it's a robot.
Well, not yet.
No, but at this point when he's going, I found a live dinosaur, and she's like, you can't announce that you found a live dinosaur. She doesn't go with, you can't announce that you found a live dinosaur because it's not a live dinosaur.
Yeah, it's straight into that she doesn't use that as the way to dissuade him.
Because even from the photo that they've got, it's clearly a robot.
Yeah. It's ambiguous. I think the thing is, though, that might not necessarily change his mind. Like, that's already a big deal.
Sure.
I mean, Zords are a thing in this universe as we know.
Yes.
But having found one that hangs around New Zealand, probably worth having a press conference for.
Yeah, I guess. It's not the same as having found a live dinosaur, though.
No.
So,
in this universe. In ours,
Yes.
it might even be more.
yes, absolutely. But we don't have weekly giant robot fights.
Yes.
More's the pity. So basically they kind of storm off. Shelby can't convince him to not do it.
Yep.
Kendall's narrowed it down to one cave. There were 2 caves. Kendall's narrowed it down to one cave. It's the North Cave.
Oh, the North Cave.
Yes.
In New Zealand.
Everyone runs off to what... I assume it's not the North Cave.
It's a North
It's
Cave.
the northern of the two caves
Right.
that had previously been presented as options.
Yes.
There's not two caves, the North Cave and South Cave.
There's a North Island, there's a South Island, there's a North Cave, there's a South
That
Cave.
makes sense. So everybody runs to the north,
Yep.
except Koda, who runs the other way. This makes no sense, but it's so great.
Yeah.
Ivan says, no, we're in New Zealand. North is the other way. How...
I like the idea that Koda has some, like, inherent sense of direction.
But that's calibrated for North America.
Yes.
It's not magnetic, because north is still one way.
Yeah.
It's just based solely on the
the curvature of the
direction
Earth.
away from the equator?
Yeah.
That doesn't even make sense.
No, that does make sense. If he's always moving away from the equator, normally
Yeah,
that would
sure,
be north
okay.
again. Yeah, there we go, we solved it.
Yeah. And, Koda's a little embarrassed.
Yeah.
And Ivan says, it's okay, I'm still amazed that the Earth isn't flat.
Yeah.
And Koda says, yeah, why did they change that?
It's such a good interaction.
Did cavemen know the Earth was flat?
Well, no, but he lived through
Oh, that's true.
history.
I
So
guess
he's gone through the
I
whole thing.
like the idea that the last time someone chatted to him about the shape of the Earth
Yeah.
was like the Middle Ages.
Yeah.
And someone said to him, yeah, the Earth's flat. And he's like, that does make sense.
Yeah.
I mean, this is definitely flat.
It seems flat.
You
Story
guys know
checks
about
out.
hills, right? And they're like, no. The hills are on top, but at the bottom it's flat.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah.
Flat on average.
Great.
Yeah.
And then, last week, Kendall was saying, they were saying, where are you going? And Kendall got out a globe.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, it's flat. That's not.
Yeah.
Why is that a
What
ball?
is that?
That's a ball. That's not. I don't understand. And she's like, no, the Earth is round. And Koda's like, round is okay, but I don't understand what was wrong with flat.
Yeah. I like the idea that in his mind, it wasn't that we figured out that the world was
No,
round.
someone made a decision that it would be better if the Earth was a sphere.
Yeah, what they did was that they just changed the Earth to make it into a sphere.
I'd like to point out, he's been to space.
Yes.
He should have seen the Earth as a ball.
No, but he knows now.
Okay.
Right.
He's just confused at the transition.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
For all he knows, if he had done that 600 years ago, it would have been flat.
Just a square.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Koda's the best, guys.
He's-
Koda's going to continue to be the best. So Professor Runga is there with them. They find the cave.
Yep.
And they can, kind of hear it going, rah,
Yep.
beep boop, rah, because it's a robot.
Yes.
The professor's there, and he's like, I want to see it. And Shelby's like, yeah, well, you can't be a dick. And he's like, no, I thought about it, and, the reason I got into this is that when I was a kid, I wanted to meet a living dinosaur, which is not a great dream, because...
Hey, the kid, come on.
Yeah, I mean, everyone knows dinosaurs are extinct, right?
No, but I don't, from an emotional level,
I
you,
guess.
if you just really want to interact with dinosaurs, it doesn't matter that it can't happen.
I guess.
Do you understand how hope works?
Barely.
Okay.
Yeah, so does teaching a valuable lesson count?
No.
Damn it.
That's right.
Damn it. She's so close. At this point, Shelby points out to him that it's actually not a dinosaur.
Yes.
It's a Zord. And he's like, but only the Power Rangers use Zords.
Which is weird, because that comes back to the conversation we had
Yeah.
not too long ago about how sometimes the Power Rangers are a thing in this universe, and sometimes they're not.
He's familiar with the Power Rangers, but Albert, who lived in roughly the same place, wasn't.
Yeah.
At all.
He's familiar enough with Power Rangers to know what Zords are.
Yes.
Whereas Albert had no idea what Power Rangers were, full stop.
Yeah.
So it's a
absolutely.
weird discrepancy.
It's like the difference between, someone who doesn't watch Power Rangers and one of us.
Yes.
Except that's the news.
Yes.
And so he figured, he basically is about to figure out that they're the Power Rangers.
Yep.
And they're like, we're the Power Rangers! So, at this point, Fury rocks up with Meteor. And I don't know if you noticed this. There's one shot of everyone reacting, and everyone does shocked, and Ivan just drops straight into a fighting stance.
Oh, that's cool.
It's just a nice, he's had enough shit with Fury.
Yep.
As soon as that dude shows up, he's ready to go. And then everybody gets ready to fight.
Yep.
There's some more Vivics. They start to fight unmorphed.
Yep.
The Energem starts glowing.
We're skipping over Koda doing those awesome flip kicks.
I mean, if we talk about every time Koda does a cool kick,
The thing is, we should, though.
yeah, we should. They all look. It's a good unmorphed fight.
Yes.
These guys are good. Their stunt doubles are good,
I
and
don't think there's no stunt double.
there has to be stunt doubles at some point.
No.
Here's the thing: I've seen a photo of Yoshi Sudaso with a stunt double, so there is a stunt double at some point.
But I've also seen Yoshi do those things.
Yes, I suspect that the stunt doubles are either the actors are doing something else,
Yes.
or we cannot legally get you to do this stunt.
I suspect, yeah, when it's like a big fall or something like that,
Yeah.
fine. But the fight scenes are them.
Yeah,
Like, there's a scene of Shelby doing some fucking awesome flips. And that's her.
sure. So yeah, Shelby basically goes for the cave.
Yes.
The Vivics go after her.
Yep.
Chase just tackles one.
Yeah, it's a good scene where normally it would be like, oh no, the Vivics are stopping me, but Chase is like, no, I got this, just tackles them and the problem's solved.
Yeah.
Immediately. They're working as a team in a really good way. now.
So they're all morphed at this point.
Yep.
Meteor shoots her from behind, and she kind of collapses, and the Energem falls out of her hands. And Meteor's like, right, well, I'm gonna get 2 Energems, and he's not gonna get 2 Energems. The professor runs up, and he's like, I won't let him get the Energem, which is brave and, great, but also, dude can summon meteors, he could just kill you.
I was terrified at this point that this was this character doing something heroic so he could earn the energy.
I hadn't considered it right until that second.
Yep.
At which point I went, he's holding the Energem, the Zord is right there, he's just done something heroic.
Yep.
He doesn't become a Power Ranger, but it would not have been out of the question.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the fact that I'm really pulling it for it to be Kendall,
Sure.
that would have been a cool moment.
I would not have minded, and I would have actually been impressed that the episode had surprised me like that.
Yes.
Although I think it would have been a surprise because we have an expectation, not necessarily like... If we thought they were just looking for someone else to be the Purple Ranger...
He'd be a very obvious choice.
Yeah.
Except for the fact that he is older.
He is older,
Yeah.
but not like out of the age range that he could be a Power Ranger.
I would say definitely outside. I think out over 25 on this show, you're pretty well over the norm. Not of actors, but of characters.
Yes, certainly. Alright, so he throws it to the Plesiosaur.
Yep.
I feel like this sequence is weakened by the fact that we don't see the Plesiosaur weak at all.
No, I feel like they had some filming restrictions there where there clearly just wasn't any body of water in that cave.
No.
They needed a better location to pull this off,
Yeah.
and they just didn't have it.
No. Also, these caves look identical to the caves in Apple Beach.
Yes.
A
lot of things look identical to Amber Beach.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's great that they've gone to New Zealand.
Yes.
But the show is always in New Zealand.
Yes.
And I understand that there's no way the filming budget would even have stretched for them to go to another island.
Yes.
But could you have found a different set of caves or something? Anyway, so everybody runs out of the cave, which is good because Matt, the Plesiosaur, despite plesiosaurs being aquatic dinosaurs,
Yes.
what can it do?
Become a spaceship and go into space.
Yeah, it can fly.
Yeah.
It's a flying.
It looks, not in size, but in weight, like a helicarrier.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
It's a huge airborne thing.
Yeah.
It's not like a fighter jet, it's solid.
So it comes out,
Yeah.
and it just eye lasers Meteor, and Meteor dies.
Oh, yeah.
He flies off into the distance, and he's just gone.
Yep. It's pretty great.
Yeah, okay. So Sledge brings up the Magna Beam,
Yep.
and Meteor's like, right, I'm giant now. You think you can stop me? All the Rangers jump into the Plesiosaur.
Yes.
The Plesiosaur just nose straight into Meteor's chest.
Yep.
And flies it into space.
Yes. Knocks Meteor into space.
What?
Yeah, it's pretty rad.
There were things that I was expecting.
Yep.
I was expecting it to become part of the Megazord.
Yes.
I was not expecting it to fly into space and then become its own Megazord.
Yeah, it's super rad. I'm so happy to have this Zord as one of mine on Fantasy Zord.
That's good.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting them to have like a third Megazord. I wasn't expecting it to just be its own Megazord.
And I don't know if this is what they're going for, but I like the idea that they now have Zords for different situations.
Yep.
It's not like they just have a range of Zords they can mix and match. Now they have like, oh, they're going into space? It's okay. We have a space Zord.
Yep.
Its whole deal is going into space.
I'll be interested to see if the Plesio Megazord can take two of the other dinosaurs on its arms in the same way that the other two can.
Yep.
This kind of... I was worried about 10 Zords.
Yes.
But I like what we're doing where there's a couple of base Zords and a couple of additional Zords.
Like weapon Zords.
That kind of attach themselves and make it work. I think it's good.
It is good. I love, too, that this whole space sequence is men in suits.
Yeah.
It's not CGI, and goddamn, it looks so much better for it.
The space part is clearly CGI.
Yes.
But, yeah, it's just two dudes in suits. The Plesiozord's got a rocket punch that it uses to rocket punch the shit out of some meteors, because that's apparently how you stop meteors now.
Yep.
And then it's got just a gun that shoots space and just demolishes meteors.
Basically blows a hole through the center of him and then makes him explode.
Yeah, they could use this one all the time.
I'm on board with that. One of my favourite things is after they've defeated the monster and it's just kind of sitting there, it's got these little stabilising thrusters that are just doing like little blasts to keep it steady.
Yeah.
Love it.
It feels like it's a bit in space.
Yes.
Yeah. Great.
Yep.
Great. Possibly the best Megazord fight of the season.
Yes.
Because it was unexpected.
Yep.
Because there was a thing where they just tackled the monster into space.
Yep.
Because they've got a gun that shoots space lasers.
And because it's in space.
Yeah.
And as we know from Power Rangers in space, things are better when they're in space.
That's absolutely true.
Yep.
So, meanwhile, in space, and by the way, now that they've got an actual space Megazord, they could just go and take down Sledge.
Yeah, they're sort of running out of reasons to not just go and shoot him to little pieces.
Yeah. Even just, like, crash his spaceship to Earth.
Yep.
So he's not in space anymore.
Yep.
Sledge is pretty shitty at Fury, because Fury's fucked up again.
Yes.
So at this point, he's gloves off, hands on, going to destroy the Rangers himself.
I'm interested in what that means. It definitely feels like he's in his end game period now.
We've got 2 episodes and a Christmas special.
Wow, is that all?
Left this season.
Wow.
So this could mean, like, Sledge actually comes down and fights and dies at the end of the season and something else happens.
Yeah, that's true. We could get someone else for Dino Supercharge.
I assume that the Sentai had like a Sledge equivalent, although it may have just been Fury and Wrench and those guys.
It'd be interesting if whoever was the Sentai villain becomes the villain.
Yeah,
for the
right?
season. Yeah.
I'm very excited. Like, maybe Sledge just survives the end of the season, but I'm very excited if at least like someone gets to fight Sledge.
Yes.
That would be good, and they could make him feel powerful without cheapening anyone else, I think.
Yep.
I'm excited about what we've got to go.
You could have him like Thanos, where he's just fighting everyone and still kind of winning.
Yeah. They can, like, draw him, but they can't beat him without, everyone coming back, maybe. We're going to have...
Yeah, I think maybe that disincentivizes them from trying to just go and take him out.
Yes.
Until they have all of the energems and ready to do it.
Yeah. So now the Rangers are flying home.
Yep.
And they're talking to Kendall, and she's like, very good work. You got the purple Energem and the purple Zord and a new Space Megazord, and I don't have to pay for flights for you guys to come home.
Yes.
So all wins on my board.
Yep. She's looking at her budget and is like, add $25,000. Tick.
And that's the end of the episode.
Yeah. That was a good one.
This was an unexpected one.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I agree. So let's talk creature feature.
Yes.
Do you want to... We put Meteor pretty low last week.
I kind of want to bump him up. Is that wrong?
It's because he went to space and had cool new attacks, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So right now above Meteor, we've got Spellbinder, who was the mind control monster.
Yep.
And Fury.
Yep.
And then Sledge.
Yep.
So, I mean, Sledge has the potential to be cool.
Yes.
But has not done that yet.
Executed on
At the moment, he's basically just the space godfather.
Yes.
So I'm happy leaving Sledge where he is.
Yep.
Is Meteor better than Fury? Fury's had a bunch of failures in a row.
Definitely better than Fury.
Yeah. So immediately above Sledge is Scrapper. Do you remember Scrapper?
Yeah.
Is he better than Scrapper?
To me, he's better and worse.
Yeah.
He's had some low points, like consistently getting his ass kicked whenever he tries to do anything.
Yeah, absolutely.
But meteors and space attacks in space. What's your gut feeling?
Well, above Scrapper is Poisandra.
Yeah.
And I feel like he hasn't landed as well as Poisandra has.
Yeah.
Who I think she's an interesting character.
Yes.
On top of that.
Yep.
But I'd be happy putting him above Scrapper at number 12.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
Look at that. All you need to do is go into space and have cool special attacks.
We've always said that.
Yeah. I tell that to people.
You do. It's actually getting a bit hurtful, to be honest.
Well, get some special attacks and go to space. All you have to do to solve that.
I mean, yeah, sure, that makes sense, I guess.
Shall we talk Fantasy Zordon?
Let's talk Fantasy Zordon. How'd you do this week, mate?
Better and worse than I thought I was going to do. I keep expecting to get the Purple Ranger and not getting the Purple Ranger.
Yeah, so you actually did very well out of the Purple Ranger this week.
Yeah, but it was also a Shelby-centric episode, so you did alright.
It was, I did okay. So Matt, why don't you take it from the top?
Okay, so I had 8 points for Koda.
What did Koda do this week, mate?
So that was forming a combination weapon with everybody else.
Yep.
2 power-up modes with everybody else. And being part of the first Megazord formation very fleetingly.
Yep.
Which is when they're sort of flying across the landscape in the Megazord.
Yep, absolutely.
So that's 8 for Koda. For Riley, he had the combination weapon and the 2 power-ups, so that's 6.
Yep.
For the Purple Ranger...
Yeah.
not quite as good as you might think. I had the Megazord formation, which is just the Purple Zord.
Yep.
He had the solo defeat on the Monster of the Week.
Yeah, we weren't sure about that. But because there's no actual Purple Ranger, but given that the Plesiozord destroys Meteor, and then the Plesio Megazord destroys Meteor.
Yeah.
I think if it was one of those, we'd have more room to debate it. But the two of them are very definitely...
And because when the Plesiozord defeats Meteor when he's small, no Rangers are involved in that.
No.
It's just it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So there's that. And then also 2 points for not appearing in the episode. So that's 9 points for the Purple Ranger. And then 2 points for the Graphite Ranger who does not appear.
All right.
That's a total of 25 for me.
Ooh, you just slightly edged me out, Matt.
Yeah.
So the Aqua and Silver Rangers do not appear in this episode.
Yep.
And I'm beginning to wonder if we're going to see either of them this season.
I'm thinking not, to be honest. There's 2 episodes left.
Yeah. So Chase did okay. He was part of a combination weapon and entered a power-up mode twice.
Yep.
So he's on 6 points.
Yep.
And Shelby did well. Combination weapon, Megazord formation, 2 power-up modes, and Morphing Call twice.
Yeah, that was the big one for me. I was really surprised that you did so well there.
For a total of 14 points.
Ooh.
So I just did 24 this week.
Yep.
So Matt, are you ready to hear the scores?
Yes.
It is so tight. The leaderboard ranges between 314 points
Yep.
and 290 points.
Okay.
So there's about 25 points in the competition.
Yep.
And again, we're both pretty close to the middle.
Yep.
You're on 301.
Yep.
I'm on 303.
Ooh.
With 2 episodes left and a Christmas special.
Ah, running down to the wire on this one.
This
I like
is,
it.
yeah, I was worried in the middle there was a part where it looked like it was just going to be a landslide.
Yes.
And it's definitely so very close right now.
Yep.
So we've got 2 episodes of Dino Charge left.
Yeah, for some reason I thought there were more. That's 2 episodes and a Christmas special.
And a Christmas special, but like 2 main episodes.
For the end of season 1 of Fantasy Zordon.
Yes.
Christmas special or no Christmas special?
Well, the Christmas special is actually, as far as I can tell, going to air before the season finale.
Right.
So
Okay.
that's all one season, and
Yep.
we end with the final episode.
Sure.
If it was after, maybe, but I think the way they're airing makes the most sense.
Yep.
So next week's episode is called Wishing for a Hero.
Yep.
So they've released a preview clip. As far as I can tell, they're trying to find someone to take the Purple Energem.
Yeah.
So I think no matter what, you could have a good week again next week in Fantasy Zordon.
Hope so.
And then the finale is called One More Energem.
Right.
So I don't know if that means they get one more Energem or there is one more Energem, but actually those would be the same thing because there's 2 more out there in the wild.
Yes.
So
We're still waiting on the Aqua and the
Silver Rangers.
Yeah.
So we've seen both of the characters that I think those 2 are.
Yep.
But-
And we've seen one of those Zords.
Yes. But also, this show would not shock me if it did something different.
Yep.
So, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm amazed that we've finished Dino Charge nearly.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a crazy year doing 2 episodes a week a lot of the time.
It absolutely has, that's true. But I've really dug Dino Charge.
Yeah. I've been enjoying it a lot. Cool.
Alright, so we'll be back next week with
Yep.
Wishing for a Hero.
Yes.
And we'll obviously be here on Saturday with your regularly scheduled Mighty Morphin episode.
Yes. And I wish that you will join us.
Yeah, I think it's Wild West Rangers Part 2.
It's a bad one.
Or is it a great one?
Or is it a Miss Abraham? You'll know what that means when you hear the episode.
Yeah, you'll get that in the future. That's going to be weird for people who are... Alright, see you guys then.
Bye.